Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Deep End Podcast. This is your host, Zar.
And this is John. Today we're with one of our familiar faces on the comment section and one of our avid supporters, AJ.
Hi guys.
Yeah, he will be one of the co-hosts of this show, which will be run around every second and fourth or first and third, as long as it's twice a month.
So, yeah, we're gonna try and do this twice a month. This is going to be a different format from our usual. In this podcast, we're gonna talk about very interesting things.
These things almost fall into the category of myth or legend, but we're gonna not debunk them, but just share them with you and let you guys know that there are things happening around us that might not be that explainable by science or whatever. Okay?
Even reason.
And even reason, correct. So yeah, let's do this.
Okay.
So all around the world there are a lot of mysterious things, mysterious beings, mysterious happenings, and the Deep End Podcast wants to dive right into those. We don't say that we believe every one of them, but there's no reason for us not to believe as well.
Yeah, and it's a very interesting thing to talk about. I'd like to cover a lot of these cryptids, the mysterious,
Creatures.
unidentified creatures. Also, a bit of the supernatural, I guess, and
The metaphysical stuff.
aliens,
There's aliens,
of course.
And if you guys are into the talks about life's, what do you call this? The primordial essence of life, how we started, where will we end, or what's happening, or is life even real? Yeah, let's talk about that as well. So yeah, AJ, anything to add?
Basically, this is the real deep end of everything.
Yeah, it's at the other end of the spectrum. If you're used to us talking about geek culture, being happy and all the time laughing, we'll still laugh here because most of it is gonna be like weird, nervous laughter or something. If we become too scared of things and stuff, yeah.
Also, for people who listen to us because of the usual topics that we cover, you don't have to worry. We will still release Promise and podcast episodes. We're still going to cover a lot of topical things, also pop culture. This is just another podcast that we want to start. And, I guess we could start it now. Hey, John.
So first of all, we're gonna talk about what are cryptids. Okay, so cryptids are like these creatures that we don't know if they even exist, but a lot of reports from people say that they do. The most famous one is the abominable snowman, aka Yeti, aka Bigfoot. That's the one of the legends out there that really shot out to the mainstream masses.
Yeah.
Because the Yeti, or whatever that is, Bigfoot, abominable snowman, there's a lot of talks about it being the missing link on Darwin's theory.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of as you know, Darwin's theory, the theory of evolution, told us that we descended from monkeys to apes to humans, but there's one link that didn't really explain how we became upright animals, and they say that the Yeti is one of them. So why did the Yeti, or how did the Yeti came to be? So there's the researcher and a lot of personal accounts that the Yeti has been seen on jungles. But what's interesting is it's not only on one spot. Multiple spots across the world has seen this creature, and for some reason they all describe the same thing. So that's really interesting because, for example, there's a sighting in America, but then there's a sighting in Europe. There's a sighting in South America. It's everywhere, and I don't know. I think the Yeti doesn't know how to teleport or something, or unless, yeah, right.
Yeah, and it's a very persistent cryptid. As John said, it has been sighted in different areas around the globe, and reports are still coming in, even to the present time. So
A lot of it, a lot of the reports are, as we know, bogus reports that just wants to ride the hype.
mhm.
But
Sometimes they're promoting something,
yeah, they're promoting
they're
something like
like
a marketing thing or something.
mortgage.
Yeah, but you know, a lot of these reports are claimed to be actual sightings of the legendary Bigfoot. So, you know, Bigfoot, I don't think that it's the missing link,
Mm.
but I know it's a huge part of history that we haven't yet explored.
Mm.
That the people, the scientists,
Or
even
nature,
nature, yeah,
Mm.
that haven't yet explored. It might be the missing link, or it might be something else far greater than what we imagine.
I think they're just trying to connect it or label it as the missing link because it walks upright
Yeah, it
and
walks
it's
up.
hairy.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's like something. Again, the missing link. It's an ape that walks upright.
I mean, anatomy wise, monkeys walk with their heels up.
Mhm. But
Right.
but Bigfoot was always cited as a big hairy creature that walks like a human.
Imagine Chewbacca.
Yeah, kind of like
Yeah.
Chewbacca from Star Wars. So that's just one of the cryptids out there. There are a lot more. There's Nessie,
Yeah,
another
That's another
legendary.
famous one.
The Loch Ness monster, which in scientific studies they say that Nessie is a remnant of the from the old dinosaur era.
Plesiosaur.
Yeah, plesiosaur. And the Loch Ness monster is this giant, again, dinosaur-looking being trapped inside a lake. So a lot of people say that it's possible. Some scientists even say that it's possible because when the glacial period started, it might have been trapped from from glaciers.
Mhm.
Then, when the thawing came about and the ice age ended, it was trapped inside that mountain, inside that lake. But what fascinates me is its adaptability. It shouldn't have been able to adapt, and it should have died.
Well, there are theories that a community of plesiosaurs live in that lake, and
Just
that
underground.
they continued to thrive. They were able to survive the ice age and the eventual melting of the ice.
Mhm.
They were able to survive the climate change. They were able to adapt, and they now have a community of dinosaurs or plesiosaurs underneath the lake. And in some occasions, some of them surface. I don't think they need to, but that's the source of the sightings.
Mm.
And I think this is one of the most. It's famous because they turned it into a tourist spot.
Yeah.
The whole lake, and they perpetuated the legend so that people would flock to
The lake
Loch
for
Ness. Yeah.
for tourism reasons.
Yeah. But to be honest, because I think I'm going to be in this podcast, I
You're
am the
going
most
the skeptic.
skeptical. Because to be honest, I've never had anything really weird happen to me in my life. I want to experience, but I have not.
Trust me, don't.
It's scary.
It's scary.
But yeah, I'll play the skeptic this time. For me, the believability for this cryptid is very, very low. Just because it's super famous.
But speaking of believability, How about on the previous topic? How about Bigfoot? How much do you believe in it? If you
Bigfoot.
as a skeptic.
Um, because I've seen several images, and they're quite consistent. The images.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what's bugging me. It's from different parts of the globe, but all the images, all the evidence shows the same thing, and
Like
it's
UFOs.
like UFO. It's so unreal.
there is a possibility that a sub race of humans
Still exists.
still exists, and they sort of maybe they live underground or they have a community somewhere, and they have a whole network of communities or something, and
they might have this underground like city
That-
or something.
That might be true because there's lots of tribes actually
mm,
right now that haven't been
haven't been exposed, I
Yeah.
guess, to
like every time
civilization
they
and shit.
see helicopters and take pictures and then we post it on Mashable and they're pointing bows and arrows at the camera. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's amazing. That's weird. No,
Yeah, it's real.
it's real.
I would think that it's
So on a scale of 1 to 10.
in a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. Nessie would be at 3 for me,
And Bigfoot.
and Bigfoot would be at around 6 because the evidence is really
Believable at this point.
and at the same time it's kind of vague,
Mhm.
and it's
Yeah.
and it exists all over. There's like people consistently report similar things
Mhm.
about this cryptid. So yeah, I think that raises the believability for this cryptid for me.
Mhm. And AJ for Nessie.
Uh, hmm. Because for that dinosaur,
Mhm.
I've seen a recent video. I don't think it's in Loch Ness. It's in
Mm.
another lake,
Mm.
which is scary.
Yeah, which is scary because it
Uh,
means that
It could
A lot
be
of the
it could be a big
creatures.
snake, but there's no snake today that's that big. There's something right beneath the surface that's
slithering or something.
For me, that's exciting because
Mhm.
it's a
I'll look for it. And
all I ever wanted
it's more evidence.
as a kid is to ride a dinosaur.
I thought it's robots. What the fuck? is it?
Aside from robots,
Okay.
robots and dinosaurs are like,
Yeah,
damn.
come on.
they're on the same
If
page.
it can be a robotic dinosaur,
God
Yeah.
damn it.
Then you'd be like Power Rangers and no, and that's another podcast. That's for the other podcast.
It's like Grimlock.
Yeah,
Riding
I mean,
Grimlock.
I love robots and I love dinosaurs, but if you can combine the two, I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, man.
Megazord.
I'm with him on that one.
Well, anyway, again,
Oh, yeah.
But anyway,
Nessie 1 to 10.
let's see. Because for that ice,
Mhm.
the Loch Ness monster getting trapped in ice and being told that a living organism can't really survive.
Okay, so
Ice.
wait, if Zar is playing the skeptic, AJ is playing the scientist.
Oh yeah, he's trying to
But
make
The facts.
But
yeah.
for me, I sort of believe in anyway.
Nessie. Yeah.
But yeah,
1 to 10.
the problem with freezing is that's why people can what do you call that? Cryogenics.
Cryostasis.
Yeah.
Because ice crystals damage cells.
Mm.
That's what happens. So maybe they evolved. Maybe
That's another scary part of it.
Evolved
If they start fucking
instead.
talking.
Maybe they're able to survive underwater now completely. It's just that they have to resurface every once in a while.
Just to fuck up
nature's
with humans.
scary.
Let's
Hey,
mess with the.
let's
For
mess with the-
nature,
like,
for the
unhairy
nature,
apes.
for the nature factor, I maybe for 1 to 10.
And Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, again nature.
What?
7.
7. So again, Bigfoot is more believable than the
Yeah.
Loch Ness monster. So if we have the skeptic and the scientist, I'm gonna play as the optimist
Yeah.
since
To balance this out.
I'm actually a bit skeptic as well, but these types of mysteries fascinate me a lot.
Me too.
And if Nessie is gonna be you guys gave it a below 5, The Loch Ness monster again. Actually, I'm like Czar as well. I like dinosaurs. my One of my elementary school papers, I told my teacher that I want to be a paleontologist
Oh,
just so I
yeah.
can fucking study dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
That was Jurassic Park movie era, right?
Yeah. So after that, I'll give Nessie a 6, just because there's something in me telling me that even though they might not be dinosaurs, they might be creatures that actually again transcend them. Like what I
Derived
believe.
from the dinosaurs.
Yes, derived from the dinosaurs. And
Yeah.
again, it's for Bigfoot. I'll give it a full 10. It's so fucking believable. I'm sorry. I just
Are you
believe that
fucking
it's
serious?
fucking they exist. Seriously, even here in the Philippines, we have the Tabon Cave,
Okay.
and they say that the creatures there or the bones there clearly resemble the if you compare the ones from the photos,
Yeah.
it's like the Filipino version of Bigfoot.
Mm.
The bone structure, the size, it clearly stays that way, and as well as the spine. They weren't hunched; they were
Yeah, they
clearly
were upright.
upright.
Okay.
So I think it's believable if we have evidence here in the Philippines that they somehow existed in a time that we didn't know when yet.
Mm.
It might be 16,000 years ago or whatever.
Mm.
They might actually have existed.
Yeah,
It's,
but-
it's real.
What about existing now?
They might, again, you guys also believe that they might have underground caverns
Yeah.
and stuff. You can't rule that out.
Mm-hmm.
The existence of something, of a mystery, you can't rule that out.
That's the fun part of
That's the
this,
fun part of this
this
podcast.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't disprove it, then you
Yeah.
can't prove it.
You can't prove it, you can't disprove. All you can do is talk about it and share
Or like-
stories,
Speculate.
speculate.
Yeah, speculation is like it's
What
the
is
game.
Yeah, it's the
for
best
this one.
part
Yeah.
of this. Okay, so we did 2 cryptids. We're gonna make more episodes about them. So next, let's talk about mysterious events.
Okay.
Okay, so they were earlier when we were doing our like part research. They were talking about this event from a radio show. I'll let you guys
Yeah.
talk about it.
Oh, okay. I think the radio show is called Star Radio. It's in the U.S. It's a radio show in the U.S. and what the host does is he accepts callers and he talks to them, And there was this one caller who claimed that he was an employee of Area 51, as a lot of people know. Area 51 is like this top secret military
American
/
military
scientific
base.
installation over in the U.S. and they're supposed to be studying a lot of weird shit in there, like extraterrestrial beings.
ARVs,
So
What are ARVs?
alien replica vehicles.
Oh,
We can talk about that.
yeah, later.
and this caller was really frantic. Like he was really terrified. He was
crying even,
scared.
right?
Yeah, he was crying. He was scared for his life. Maybe what I'm gonna do once I start editing this podcast is I'm gonna
Put the link below.
not only put a link. I'm gonna allow our listeners to listen to that call.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it here, and they'll be the judge. Like tell us in the comment section if you believe the caller or not, if he's
Mhm.
being genuine. Now the thing is, he's telling the radio host that aliens are real, and that they've already infiltrated the highest echelons of government, and that they're preparing the world, the Earth, for some sort of grand plan where they will completely assimilate our civilization, completely replace all figureheads of power, and rule over us. Now, he's very afraid for his life. You can hear it in his voice. He's very afraid and he begs the radio announcer and the listeners to believe him because he doesn't have a lot of time, and because in any moment the military might triangulate his position just because he's calling, because everything is apparently, according to him, everything's being monitored. And for some reason, the transmission, the call gets cut off. But not only that, not only the call, but the entire radio station loses their broadcasting signal. Basically, people are only hearing static.
Yeah.
So that's what happened there.
Online, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art.
Yes.
Hi. I don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, look, let's begin by finding out whether you're using this line properly or not.
Area 51.
Yeah, that's right. Were you an employee or are you now?
A former employee.
Former employee.
I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They're gonna they'll triangulate on this position really soon.
So you can't spend a lot of time on the phone. So give us something quick.
Okay. Okay. What we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military. I'm sorry, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now, Art.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
Discharge.
I started getting...
In some way, something knocked us off the air, and we're on a backup system now.
It's the government, or
I don't know.
it has to be something, though.
Well, did you hear? Now, you tell me because you were listening.
That was awful strange.
There was a really weird guy on the air when it went off?
Yeah, real weirded out.
Like going sort of sounding paranoid,
Yeah.
schizophrenic?
Like crying and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how far into the conversation was it when it went off?
Just a couple, about 15, 20 seconds, I'd say.
Oh, you
Something like that.
you guys missed. You really missed the call then, and I've got a feeling somebody didn't want you to hear it.
Yeah, because it was really strange. All of a sudden, I'm hearing Mark Furman, and when
That's
I was
right. Well,
listening
the network, of course, went immediately to a backup tape while we tried to figure out what blew up here.
Uh-huh.
So that's what you heard happen.
Uh-huh.
And then we're now on a backup link system, to be on the air at all right now. So, well, I'm telling you.
Am I on the air right now?
You're on the air right now. Well, you better be, yes.
And
Where are you, by the way?
I'm in Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah, I called the other night, and I wanted to ask two things.
Real quick.
Well, I wanted to say one thing, and I wanted to ask another.
Real quick.
I wanted to ask if you could play that remote viewing one when you were while you go to Egypt.
Yes.
And also, I wanted to know all this stuff about like Area 51, if it's like the government's trying to put it out there like that, so like some other place isn't being watched as much.
In other words, it's a big decoy. I see what you're saying here, and apparently we'll be back after the news, I think. Sandy Beach here, inviting. We lost all transmit capability on this end. Here in Nevada, the transmitter went belly up suddenly for some unknown reason. I've never seen it do this in all the years that we've been on the air. I have never seen the transmitter in this way just simply fail, massively fail, like a massive heart attack or some kind. And so we have gone to a backup system to get the signal to you right now, and I presume it is getting to you right now. Totally.
Okay, so we're gonna continue off with that thing. Pardon for the pause. We actually had to pause because something weird happened around the house, but it's all good now. Okay, so let's continue.
They're all gone now.
They're all gone now.
They're all sleeping.
Maybe I'll just yeah, that's the moment where I'll put in the radio broadcast, I guess. I think that would be the perfect moment for it. Again, we apologize. There was a slight interruption. However, yeah, the name of the show is Coast to Coast AM, and it is hosted by Art Bell. And again, it's this. What I was talking about was about the frantic Area 51 caller.
So what are your thoughts on that call?
Well,
Because like I think you also mentioned earlier when we were researching that they were the caller called again after a year or so, after quite some time, and he told people that, hey, I'm just an actor, so I called before and it's all like a joke, it's just a part of a prank. So what are your thoughts on that? Because the network, everything in the network shut down for some reason.
yeah.
So what are you guys' thoughts as a skeptic, Czar?
As a skeptic, maybe he's an actor. There's a possibility because Art Bell show Coast to Coast, he receives calls from quite a few characters. Like he's received a call from a time traveler, someone who claims to be John Titor.
That was weird.
Also, he received a call from a witch, someone claiming to be a practitioner of occult magics, stuff like that. And of course, someone would like maybe someone tried to,
Ride the wave.
yeah, or show up all of these other callers and like become the authentic caller. Now,
But
the strangest thing is that the reason why I sort of believe this call is because
and you're a skeptic.
and I'm the skeptic, and I'm more partial to believing that it's true. Maybe the person on the other side doesn't understand what he's actually talking about. Maybe it's not really aliens. But you can feel how genuine his narration is. Now, the reason why I think it's true is because Art Bell received a follow-up call for this, which I will also include in this podcast for everyone to review and judge.
The east of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hi, Art. This is Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Hello. You didn't disconnect me before, did you?
Were you on earlier tonight?
No, not, towards the end of the last hour, you said east of the Rockies, you're on the air, and your voice was immediately replaced by the operator saying your party has not connected.
Oh, well, see, as you can now tell, I don't screen calls. So
Right.
what happened, obviously, was that I answered the phone just at the very instant that you had been ringing, as long as they were going to let you ring.
Yeah.
And so that occurs, obviously. Sometimes I go to a line and it's dead and nobody's there, and that's what's happened. You know, we're
Right.
on the cusp there. Anyway, I'm glad you made it back through.
Yeah, you got all my paranoia buttons running. I always get very nervous when I call you. I'm Brian. I hung up on you last week.
I see.
And I just figured, damn the torpedoes. I'll just do this and let the chips fall where they will.
All right.
Everybody, I am the Area 51 caller. That's my statement, and let you or whatever tear it apart.
You claim you're the Area 51 caller?
I am the man.
How do you account for the fact, Area 51 caller,
Okay.
that part of the way through your spiel, the satellite went down?
I have no idea, and it scared the heebie-jeebies out of me that night. I've called a number of times on your specialty line nights doing different, kind of wacky characters, and that's all that one was supposed to be. And if the call had been completed, it would have been ancient history by now.
Has it occurred to you, as Barbara Marx Hubbard suggested tonight, that perhaps, if you're really what you say you are, you created the reality of the rest of the situation and took down my satellite?
That scares the heebie-jeebies out of me, because it means that what I was saying was somehow correct, and it was fabrication, kind of
creating a reality.
Yeah, if that was the case, I humbly apologize to you, because I love your show, and the last thing I would ever want to do is
Knock
tear
me
you
off
off
the
the
air.
So what can I do to prove my claim here?
Well, I guess you could give us a little of what you gave us then, so that we could hear it and know it to be you.
Are you sure you want me to do that, Art?
I'm positive.
Don't, Art, please. I don't want you to ask me to do this. If I start doing that guy,
You're right about that. Now, let's just take that little sample that you just gave us, so that we don't alter some sort of hard little reality here at the end of the program, and we'll let the callers be the judge.
Okay.
All right?
I thank you for this opportunity. This has just been driving me bananas for months, and I didn't know what you wanted me to do. I knew it was very difficult for me to prove to you. But I just thank you for your patience in dealing with me up to this time.
All right, it's quite all right. Thank you. Fritz in Phoenix, as a matter of fact, called and said, oh, yes, that's him. Somebody else said, oh, no. Now he has done his little Area 51 caller IMO, or the real thing, depending on what you think. And so we'll leave it up to all of you. That is what you think.
Now, in this call, the person tries to explain that it was an act, everything was an act, and that he's just an actor. But there's a tremor in his voice as he is speaking. You can feel that maybe it's a part of his act or whatever, but you can still sort of feel that he's afraid, and that he's just making up excuses because he's not that confident in explaining to Art. I mean, you should be confident. You're an anonymous caller. There's nothing for you to lose. You can be as confident as you want.
They can see you.
Because nobody can see you, and no one knows who you are.
Yeah.
But they can.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's as if someone is forcing him to explain and make sure that everyone understands that whatever he said on his prior call was lies, was an act. Yeah. It's very
Fucking mysterious as shit.
It's very graphic. It's like one of those 911 calls. Have you listened to 911 recordings in YouTube? Like it's how he delivered the call. It was so graphic. It's again, listeners.
Be the judge.
Yeah, let us know if you think the call is real or not. You tell us.
Okay, AJ, as someone who studied these facts on a fact-by-fact basis, how would you like rate this from believable to non-believable?
Well, I heard the first and second call for this, and yeah, he did later on tell everyone that he was just acting. But the funny part here is that they really got cut off. That's like satellite level cutting off. You know, like Zar said, it might not have been, directly alien related, but it might be like, oh, this guy's spilling too much about our corporation agency,
or like a big organization or some sorts.
and they needed to do like clean up. We have to stop this guy because he's spilling too much.
Yeah, you can even connect this to the Illuminati.
Yeah,
you can connect it to, I don't know,
the 1%.
because that idea that we are 24/7 being monitored today, that's very possible now. Everything, our podcast might be being recorded
because
So,
this is a foreshadowing. This was way back 97.
Yes.
This is everything he said was like a foreshadowing of what is to come. And as you can see right now, everyone is gathering information, and everyone, like even your web browser, whatever you're using, your Facebook, your web browser, any social media site that you're using, all of that is gathering information on you.
Yeah.
That's the scariest part of it. As I haven't actually listened to the radio show that these guys are talking about because I was too busy researching other stuff, like aliens. But when they told me this, I was like, fuck. A satellite cutoff? That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen unless it's did by the network themselves, in which they wouldn't, because they would lose precious money.
Yeah.
That's
on
government
airtime.
level.
Yes, that's government level stuff.
Art Bell actually confronted the caller about that, and he had no explanation for that.
Yeah.
Because even not only did the call get cut off, Art Bell's broadcast was cut off. The entire broadcast, Art Bell had to explain that they had to use a backup broadcasting system to get back on the air, because that just happened during that call. So it sort of lends a bit of credibility to it.
Yeah, and unless it's a massive campaign of some sort just to make the Coast to Coast radio show more popular.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's that they needed to do that big.
Grand. That's one damn good.
Yeah, that's one damn fucking good marketing material if they did that.
Remember, this is 97.
This is 97. The times when people are talking about the end of the world in 1999.
Yeah.
The time when every person in the world is expecting to experience something big in the coming millennial.
And
change of the millennium.
Is viral marketing even a thing back then?
Yeah.
97? I mean, have we
I don't
We
think
don't
do we have internet back then? I mean, I guess we have some form of internet, but I guess not here in the Philippines.
No. We don't have that.
It's too weird to consider it as a hoax
Yeah.
or an act. It's just too weird. And a lot of mysterious events like this, guys, if you're listening, a lot of mysterious events like this happen in a setting that you won't expect the most.
Yeah.
This happened in a radio show.
Yeah. And it's not even that famous.
It's
radio
not
show.
famous.
Yeah, it's not even
There's
that
no
popular.
reason for there's a reason for them to do it as a marketing thing. Okay, sure. But there's no reason for them to cut off their satellite broadcast just for that. And
That's
to
very
run
expensive.
Yeah, it's very expensive. And to use the emergency broadcast system of their what do you call this network,
Yeah.
that will cost a lot of money because the emergency broadcast system does not permit the use of ads. It only uses the rawest form of a radio frequency, which is supposed to be AM. The radio frequency that can only be heard by all of the radios. And that's what's scary about it. AM radio can be heard by anyone. By anyone.
Oh man, I remember seeing or watching this YouTube video about this sort of radio station, maybe in Russia or something.
Yeah, they say numbers,
But yeah,
random
it
numbers.
just keeps broadcasting
Oh, yeah.
in random
I know
shit.
that.
That's so scary. And up to now, they still haven't been able to track them. And one of the there's actually a paper about it, or something that I've read somewhere that someone confirmed that these are like old KGB what do you call it? Transmissions.
Yeah.
And what's fucked up about this? It's old KGB transmissions. Why the fuck would you?
Why they're still
broadcast
being
that?
transmitted?
Yeah, that's one mysterious.
Are we
piece
sure
of
it's
shit.
not like Bucky's safe words?
Bucky's safe
Bucky safe
words.
words? They're trying to activate tons of Bucky's right now.
Where is Bucky right
You-
now?
There's a ton of similar things now in the internet. Like you have these subreddits that only have codes in them.
Mhm.
Like this constant user just posts codes upon codes upon codes. It posts like a number station, like what a radio station like that would do. Also, you have YouTube channels that are only dedicated to posting some sort of not the torso something because
Web torso.
web torso, not web
Yeah.
torso driver.
Web torso driver is fucking insane.
Yeah, not web torso driver though. But
Yeah.
there are other similar channels like that only post like random shapes and colors, and you
Oh,
just
yeah,
have,
I saw that as well.
and you just have like a few seconds of video there, and they keep posting and posting. It's like some sort of code that needs to be decoded or decrypted somehow.
Whoever's a genius out there, we dare you to solve these because at the moment we can't.
Of course, I mean, are we some sort of
We're not
super
some-
genius programmers or something?
Yeah,
code
we're-
crackers
we're-
and
explorers
shit?
of
yeah,
these
we're just
things.
podcast makers. You know.
Are
And,
we gonna
also-
be contacted by Cicada 51
Oh my
or
God.
something?
Yeah, that's the
Scott
Asian.
51.
Fucking racist.
Oh my god, it's like opening a can of worms once you start talking about
Mhm.
Yeah.
strange shit like this. It's like you just can't stop because it's a can of worms.
And also remember we tried the serious type, but again I told you earlier that we'll also laugh, but if you can see here, our laughter is like a mixture of pure like happiness and kind of nervous since we really don't know if these things are real.
A satellite,
And if-
a satellite might be like flying over us right now.
Yeah.
Listening.
and it's so
Listening to
fucked
us.
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
There was a time remember when I started just watching YouTube all the time.
Mhm.
And because I didn't know any of the popular channels or anything like that, and I just searched for stuff on YouTube, like UFOs. Of course, I'm gonna search for UFOs. There was a time that I was so paranoid, like I just don't want to get out of the house anymore.
Oh, man.
There was the time when it felt, especially when I heard this call, it felt like, man, these things could be out there. You know, they could be watching us. They could be monitoring everything that we're doing, and we have no means to
To
fight these
confirm
things,
and to fight.
to even find out if these things are real. We are playthings to these
But
beings.
Why would you fight us?
Yeah, you won't fight
Yeah.
a hill of ants.
Yeah.
You just step on it, right? Or just even ignore it.
Just ignore it. And hopefully it will go away.
It's
Hopefully.
So those are like mysterious events. So in the scale of believable to not, I
Oh,
think
shit.
everyone just agrees here.
Even
That's
I, as a
so
skeptic.
fucking believable, man.
Yeah, even I, as a skeptic, I would have to give this an 8 or a 9. I'm still leaving that a
Shred
little
of
bit
doubt.
of I'm still leaving a bit of that there, but yeah, for me this is around 8 to 9. Maybe he doesn't know what he's talking about, but he's really scared, and he stumbled upon something that he cannot comprehend, and he just had to speak
Come out.
about it before he gets killed or something.
AJ.
I'm a 10 on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. We work.
Yeah.
What's our work? SEO.
We
right?
are SEOs.
We know that information. We
Yeah.
know that. You know,
These kinds of
Google.
information do not in these days.
monitoring these days is happening.
Yes,
it's happening,
it's
man.
serious. So if you're listening this on
Technology
YouTube and
involved,
suddenly it got cut off, you know the drill.
You know the drill.
Yeah.
Go home to your provinces, pray, go to your parents' house.
Raise your pigs and
Yeah.
chicken,
Ta-
livestock.
Tell your parents that you love them.
Mhm.
And
Build
that,
a shelter
If you
underground.
if you see an eye
Be
in
a
the sky,
prepper.
be a prepper.
You know, buy guns.
Okay, so next, I'm gonna leave a thought on you guys. I'm gonna present you something a thought. So, for example, you're walking into a mall.
Mm,
So of course you're there to buy stuff, and you see a lot of people. Okay,
yeah.
so how sure are you that all those people are real?
Oh man.
God damn it, man.
I think
I'm
this
gonna
is-
go home
Oh
by
man,
myself.
it's like you remind me of something. There's this movie, They Live.
They live.
Yeah, and oh god. Yeah, I'm having goosebumps because
Not just because of the aircon.
there's that fear, you know, like if you're with a crowd
Mm.
and then somebody sort of looks at you strangely or something.
Yeah,
Or
man.
It's not
Jesus.
It's not only that. This is what makes it creepier. So
Yeah.
you're like just walking,
Yeah.
and you see them like, oh my god, the
Goosebumps.
impulse are insane. So you're just walking, and everyone's just doing their own thing.
Yeah.
But you can't see that part at your back. What if just as you pass, everyone just looks at you,
Yeah.
and every time you turn around, they're just gonna pretend they're doing something, but everyone or
It just means that you're in the Matrix.
Maybe,
No, but-
or maybe you're super paranoid.
You're super paranoid.
Our mutual friend,
Mhm.
can you say her name?
Yeah, sure.
Missy.
Mhm.
I think I talked to her before. Like,
Is that the girl with no legs?
what?
Ah,
Is
no,
that
no,
the
no, no.
different? Okay, I'm gonna call that.
What is this about a girl with? Okay, let's talk about
Yeah.
that later.
Yes.
When we were on Quantum,
Mhm.
I was asking her about like what's it like to be like maybe have a third eye and stuff like that. She just said like maybe you'd look like an idiot because you keep avoiding people.
Mhm.
You see
Mm.
that only you see.
It's
Just
so
reminds me
insane.
of her.
And also, someone again in quantum. I think these are, or maybe these are weebo shit. Yeah.
We're still talking about that mall scenario.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
And you're leading into something here, right?
Yeah, and no, yeah, but I'm gonna just yeah. Anyway, so there's this person who told me that he's just walking
Yeah.
around the mall,
Mm.
and someone's just like he bumped on a girl,
Mm.
and of course he said sorry. So, what? Then continued off. Then he was so weirded out because one of the like clerks inside the mall
Mm.
was like it was looking at him weirdly. So he tried to. Of course, he was afraid that what the fuck did I do? Did
Steal
that
something.
or did that girl steal something?
Mm.
Okay, so he went to that clerk and asked her, and the clerk just backed away a bit
Mm.
before talking to him, and he asked her, "Excuse me, miss. So why are you backing off? Is something wrong? Did something happen that I didn't see? I didn't catch?" So the the girl told him
Mm.
that did you know that you bumped into someone you shouldn't have bumped with? So that guy asked why, because for some reason you bumped into her, but you didn't notice that she didn't have legs.
Oh
God,
my
that's
god!
like
I'm
full
like,
on Otani shit, man.
oh, I
Yeah.
have like goosebumps right now.
Well, he didn't went back to the mall for quite a bit after
What mall
that.
is this?
That's SMN.
SM North.
Yes.
Okay, thank God I'm not there often.
Good God, I live there.
Yeah, it's so creepy and fucked up because every time you think that something is real,
Mm.
you don't know if your mind's playing tricks on you.
That's true.
You know?
Wait, so back to your story. This clerk can see stuff like that,
Mhm.
apparently. And for some reason, briefly, he was able to touch it
Mhm.
and to experience
And
it
that's
himself.
the thing. He touched it.
He bumped into
He
Mm.
bumped into it. After that, his life wasn't the same anymore. He kept being paranoid of things. He kept avoiding people.
Mm.
And you know, guys, a lot of we talked about cryptids. We talked about mysterious events,
Mm.
and these things right now, this topic right now, is just. I think it's something inexplicable.
it.
These
Creeping
aren't
as the
even
fuck out.
mysterious. These are plain tricks of the mind, or they might be real. You know.
The creepy thing about this is it's a personal story. This
Mhm.
happened to your friend.
This happened to my friend, and I'm not shitting you. He's actually quite paranoid right now. He doesn't really go out of his house much.
How
And
long ago was this?
This is like 7 years ago.
Mm. Because, you know what, being a skeptic
Mhm.
and being someone who has not really experienced any of this weird stuff, because I keep telling you stuff, right? Like
Mhm.
I keep hearing things, but really there's a number of things that could explain that.
Mhm.
However, I feel that if the day ever comes that I discover the truth for myself, because up to now I'm still skeptical about all of this, I think that would change my life. Because I
Yeah.
was not born with that
Anything.
ability, you know? Because, say for example, I'm just sitting down, right? Drinking my Milo or whatever, playing my video game, whatever. Because as I am accustomed to playing my games in the dark,
Mhm.
drinking whatever I have. Now, I won't be able to do that anymore.
Mhm.
You know?
You'd be scared of the dark. You'd be
You'd be
scared,
scared
of
of-
the unknown.
You'd be scared of not just the dark, because this was in
Yeah,
the mall.
this is in the
Broad
mall.
daylight.
This is
Broad daylight. The mere fact that this happened to you in broad daylight with a crowd, that will fuck you up, because that would change your life,
Mhm.
because you know that there's no escape.
Mhm.
Like, if you thought that the light was your sanctuary, that the light would save you from this,
Mhm.
you're wrong. If you thought that people or crowds being with other people would save you from this, like they would go away because you're
They're
no
shy
longer
or something.
alone, no, it's not gonna save you from it.
And as well as even thinking that, hey, I'm with good friends. No,
No,
you won't even
no.
know if these people are like.
And basically,
Really?
I can't be alone anymore.
Mhm.
I would be in my friend's house all the time.
Mhm.
In my friend's house, or I'd be where my wife works. I'd be near her office at all times, because I won't be able to handle this.
And that's actually okay. This is another story. So these are sisters.
Mm.
So one of the sisters works late, and the other sister is still in school and waits for her sister to get back.
Mm.
Okay, so one time, one of the younger sister is waiting for her older sister to get back. So she went down as usual, their usual route,
Mm.
and she saw his sister walking towards their apartment complex. Okay, so they're walking, and the younger sister, for some reason wanted to meet halfway. the route. Okay, so she walked, and when they were she saw her sister, talked a bit. She knows her sister is just like talking to her and just looking at her and smiling. Okay, so she thought it was like unreal or weird for her sister to do that, but she brushed it off because it's her sister.
Oh
Okay,
man,
so
this is just giving me goosebumps.
okay,
right
so
now.
so they were walking, and for some reason the guys drinking.
Mm.
You know, here in the Philippines, there are a lot of guys drinking. Yeah.
In the streets.
In the streets. So the guys, they were really drunk and said, "Hey, you're so cute." It's like that. Ate, ang cute mo naman.
So the guy's cat called her.
Cat called her. So
Yeah.
so what she told, Ate, let's go. Our older sister, the big sister, let's just go. So they hurried into the apartment complex. Then, for some reason, when they got into the elevator, she suddenly got goosebumps and thought of something. Why did the guy say, Ate, ang cute mo naman? Or, Miss, you look so beautiful. Singular. When both of them are present. Then she looked at her big sister. Her big sister is still looking at her, smiling.
Oh man, this is fucking giving me goosebumps.
Her big sister said, "Do I really look like her?"
Good God, man.
There are tears in my eyes.
And the girl just passed out. Then the next day, the guard found her inside the elevator.
She was passed out.
Yes, they carried her to the infirmary or a spot in like a clinic inside the apartment complex, and they called her sister, which was in a vacation 3 days ago.
Do we know this girl?
No, I'm not gonna name her. 3 days ago.
I hope I don't.
You know what's weird?
What's weird?
Who's the person that's been sleeping with her
I hope
Oh
not.
yeah,
the
so
whole time?
wait, she didn't know that her,
Her
big sister was went on a
Went
vacation.
on a vacation.
Oh, that's fucking.
She didn't see the note, and for 3 days, she's been talking to someone who looks like her sister and even let her sleep inside.
This is fucking.
This is scary.
This is insane as fuck.
This is really deep.
This is like a creepy pasta shit.
Yeah,
right
this
here.
is weird, creepy pasta shit, but you know, it's
It's a creepy pasta level
of story, right?
story. You
But
know?
it's if you search creepy pasta, it's
Oh,
not
by the
that.
way, that part, you can go to the medical side. Like she might be schizophrenic,
She might be
but is
schizophrenic.
she?
No, she's
She's not, right?
perfectly healthy, and her sister was really concerned for her because prior to that, the younger sister kept talking in her dreams, and so the older sister just thought that it was stress.
Yeah.
For the younger sister because exams are coming, etc., and you know, she just chalked it up to stress.
I've heard similar stories. One from my mom, actually. Back when I was a kid, she told me, because we lived, the two of us alone in this really big apartment, and she told me a story about how sometimes she would ask me to bring her stuff. I think I was like 4 or 5, or maybe 6. I can't remember. Maybe 5. She would ask me to bring stuff to her, like her slippers or something, or shoes, and somebody would
Fuck dogs! Don't confirm or.
somebody
Do
would,
you guys know that when dogs bark at something that's not there, it's fucking extremely insanity inducing.
and someone would actually like hand over her stuff, but then she would see me at another part of the house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking.
You know how there are stories like this,
Yeah.
but it was like some sort of helpful
Yeah,
entity.
there's always malicious entities, and there's always like those that just tries to guard. There's always someone who says, "Oh, there's something here, but it's okay. It's the guardian of the house."
Mm.
But what the fuck, dude?
I
Guardian
have
of the
one of those
house?
Hmm?
stories.
Oh, okay.
You guys haven't been there. My room is on the attic,
Mm.
so I could
You really
see.
chose a sucky room to be in. The room where all the scary,
All the-
fucked up shit
by the
happens.
way, by the way, that scene on The Grudge, the Japanese version,
Mhm.
where she lifts her head
Oh man, I hate
at the
that
attic.
scene.
Mhm.
That's my room. I literally had to climb a ladder and do this. That like there's a square.
Oh
Yeah.
man, it's like
But we changed it now because I said I can't sleep here, man. So anyway, I still have a room there. It's sort of like my office,
Your
art room.
atelier.
Yeah. At my window there, I could see the hallway at our
Yeah.
apartment. The stairs. We had a neighbor.
Hmm.
I think she's like middle age, orange hair. At that time, I saw her at the laundry part of the building. She was doing her laundry. So I was at my room. I looked out. Our gate. She was there. She was opening our gate, and she was knocking at the door.
Mhm.
And then I brushed it off because I was watching like Ghost in the Shell or something.
Mhm.
After the movie, I went down to see my mom. I said, why did the lady at the second floor go up here?
Mhm.
She said, we had no one here. No one came up. There's no visitor. But she went inside our house. I saw her.
What the fuck?
Are you good friends with this person?
No,
Or
I
are
didn't know
you-
her.
I mean, your family.
Yeah.
Okay, so your mom is like friends with the neighbor.
Yeah.
Okay. So it would be normal for you to see this person just visiting your house,
Mhm.
basically.
At that time,
No, what I'm saying is, it's normal for this person to actually visit.
oh no
you
no no
guys.
no no.
Oh.
It's like that's why I was asking her, but like, what did she want? Was she like, is this like a community thing? What's happening? Did they have a party? Did they have food?
Mhm.
But my mom said no one came up our unit.
Mhm.
She was just watching TV.
Mhm.
Oh man.
Fuck.
That was 2 p.m. on a Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon.
This I have another story
Yeah.
that's quite similar to that. So I have a friend from economics.
Yeah.
So
Wait. What is economics?
okay, it's a gaming group in an arcade.
Ah, yeah.
So
what
that's
do you guys
promise
play?
and things. Okay. Anyway, so he woke up. It's a normal day. He woke up at 6 p.m. and he like did his morning stuff, and he looked at the window. There are people passing by. Then he just like passing by. He saw like the upper half of people. So
Yeah.
it's a normal day.
Mm.
Then he suddenly ran up. You know why?
Why?
He was panicking
Okay.
because he was at the basement. Why the fuck is he
The fucking
seeing
basement?
people?
Oh.
Above the
He
waist.
should have been seeing
The legs.
legs and feet. Why the fuck is he seeing people? That's
Oh
short as
my
fuck,
God.
but yeah,
That's Junjo Ito type of horror right there.
that's insane. That's creepy pasta as well.
Oh man, that's really super. I mean, I guess at the level, he should be seeing ankles
Yeah.
because he's
Yeah.
at the basement and he's looking at the basement window.
Window, yeah.
But he's actually seeing people passing by as if
With
it's a
heads.
normal window.
As if it's a normal window. He
Okay.
suddenly ran up and the fuck.
Isn't there like a sort of a tunnel or indent or like?
No, it's just
it's a flat road.
it's a flat road.
Oh,
It's a flat road.
Shit.
And
maybe he was seeing decapitated heads rolling.
that would be weird. And what's weird is that the people, it's an open window, but the people isn't looking at him, changing. But what's weird, I actually told him, Dude, it's weird if they looked and
Oh yeah,
stared.
they look.
You know why? Because you know why. Okay, so we wrapped up with stories that are mind fucked,
Yeah.
mind fuckable. These stories we can't explain, we can't do jack shit about them,
Actually real.
and they're actually real. And these are fun to talk about.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you guys have stories you would
Mhm.
like us to share in the podcast, if you have anything to tell us, if you have any interesting events happening in your area, please let us know so that we can talk about it too.
Also, we're since we're gonna release this on Tuesday, here's some updates. The people who are gonna listen to these updates are probably the ones who really listen to us and go
Yeah.
to an hour mark. So we're gonna release a lot of things. And no, I'm just gonna release this in like a video or short 10-minute stuff.
Okay.
So here's us wrapping off with the Deep End podcast. Again, this is John
And this is Czar.
And I'm AJ.
telling you that things might not be as pleasant as they may seem to be, but they're also not real as they seem to be. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks for listening.